Hello my friends, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to talk about this new palette from Byredo, the Vesuvio palette. Now I think some of you know that I had early access to this palette. I received this one in November, so I had plenty of time to create looks, to thoroughly test this palette, and in today's video I'm going to share those looks, I'm going to share my experiences, I'm going to share my thoughts, of course. I will also show you some comparisons, so let's get started. First, some general information about the Vesuvio palette. This new palette retails for $115 or 105 euros. And the palette is now available on Byredo's website. I've shared the links in the description box, and I am sure this palette will come to other retailers anytime soon. The palette has a 12-month shelf life and it's made in Italy. Now I know you are curious, what shades did I use for this look? Because of course I used the Vesuvio palette to do this eye look. Well, I'm going to show you the shades. I've used this one, this purple orchid shade, in combination with this silvery shade and a little bit of this one. I mixed those. And in my inner corner I used the bright pink in combination with the lighter pink. So that's my look for today. So let's have a closer look at the color story and the theme, because the Vesuvio palette is of course inspired by the Vesuvius volcano in Italy. And I found some information on Byredo's website about the palette and the theme, the color story. And I think that just tells the whole story, because this is what Byredo says about the color story. Wearable and fluid with an explosive twist, the Vesuvio palette takes its inspiration from the striking Neapolitan landscapes of 18th century paintings. 18 entrancing colors to echo those found in these artworks, from the soft natural hues of the hillsides to the fiery eruption of Vesuvius. Warm and cool toned pastels like lilac, watery green, subtle blue, pale yellow and soft pink mingle with natural tones of gray, brown and taupe between intense pops of bright orange, pink, copper and bronze. And yes, that says it all. This is the perfect description of this palette. I see the volcano, I see the warm tones from the lava and the magma, I see the cooler tones from the ashes, the sky. This really is a very well curated color story. I think Byredo did an excellent job with this color story. And maybe you don't like all of the shades. Fair enough. I mean, there are 18 shades. You can't love them all. But you can't say this is a bad color story. You can't deny that this is a very well curated volcano themed eyeshadow palette. I already did a swatch video about this new Byredo palette. You can find that right here. So I'm going to show you the swatches real quick now, but I'm not going to tell you everything again about these shades, because then I'm going to repeat myself and I find that very unnecessary. So here are the swatches, and I've swatched the palette row by row. And as you can see, there are some cooler tones in this palette, some warmer tones in this palette, in a variety of finishes, matte shades, metallics, satins. So there's a little bit of everything in this palette. It's kind of similar to the formula from the other big Byredo palettes in the Bibliophilia or Remembrance and Mineralscapes. We also found this mix of mattes, metallics, satins. And when it comes to applying the shades, blending the shades, I didn't experience any issues with the Vesuvio palette. The shades are very long lasting. There is no creasing. So I actually do not have anything bad to say about the Vesuvio formula. There are a few shades I would like to point out in this video, because there are a few pastel shades in this palette, and I don't think I've seen pastels from Byredo before. Maybe I'm mistaken, but I don't think I have them in other palettes. But pastels are, generally speaking, not my favorite shades. They can be very chalky, hard to work with. Not all brands can do good pastels. I think the pastels in this palette are good, but just keep in mind that they are still pastel shades, and those shades are not for everyone. They are lighter in tone. The color payoff is not as rich as with, for example, the metallic shades or the dark mattes. They are pretty light in tone, not too light. I actually like how they look on me. I'm gonna show you a look here that I did with the blue, and I combined that blue pastel shade with the blurred sky shade. That's the metallic shade right next to that blue pastel. I think it's important to pair pastel shades with shimmery shades or metallic shades to give some more dimension to your look. Otherwise, it just looks a bit boring and flat and like one-dimensional. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think it's important to combine those pastels with shades with some more texture, shimmery shades, metallic shades. Just grab something you like. And I personally also really enjoy the reddish orange gold shades, this combination. These shades, they provide such a fiery, summery look. I really, really like that. And I mean, now it's still winter and I'm definitely not ready yet for like sunny makeup, but the look I did with this, with these shades is so pretty. I really, really like those bright red, orange, golden shades. And those are not shades I will wear on a daily basis, no. But I do feel like they look so good on me that I wish I would wear them on a daily basis. But they are just a little bit too like intense for me to wear on a daily basis. I rather have something a little bit more neutral for my everyday looks. But when I'm gonna do like a sunny orange golden look, I will certainly grab these shades in this Byredo palette because I really, really like them. My favorite shades in this palette are probably these two right here. I've combined them in one look and that looked so pretty. But I like them mostly because they provide that pop of color to your eye look, but they are not too intense, not too bold. So for me, these are very wearable pops of color. So therefore, these are my favorite shades in this palette. Of course, I also have some comparisons for you. I only compared this new Byredo palette to other Byredo palettes, not to palettes from other brands. And the comparison with the Bibliophilia palette was highly requested. So let's first have a look at that one. I think that now that you see both palettes in one shot, it's not that similar, right? Well, at least I do not find them very similar. Yes, there are a few shades that come close, but in general, Bibliophilia is more of a neutral palette with pops of red. And then the Remembrance palette, I do not have comparison swatches for that one because I really couldn't find any similar shades. These color stories are very, very different. And last but not least, the Mineralscapes eyeshadow palette. This is my personal favorite from Byredo, a very hard to beat color story. Now, these two color stories, Vesuvio and Mineralscapes, are completely different. Mineralscapes is way more earthy in tone, and Vesuvio has some more bright, bold colors. Some final thoughts, my friends. Now, if you do not like colorful eyeshadow, then please just skip this palette, because then Vesuvio is definitely not for you. But if you like pops of colors and you are a little bit afraid that this palette is too bold for you, maybe you find it a little bit intimidating, I have good news for you, because you are able to work with these colors. At first, when I saw this palette for the first time, when I received it and I opened it, I was a little bit overwhelmed by some of the shades. Not all of them, but some of them. I immediately thought, this is thought out very well. This is a well-curated color story. But at the same time, I thought, oh, there are some shades here that are bold. And I wasn't too sure if I would get a lot of use out of those colors. But when I start playing with the shades, when I start creating looks, the shades kind of showed me the way, how to use them, how to create a good look with them. And it sounds a bit awkward maybe, but I think it's important to just use your intuition. Because these shades, they kind of speak for themselves, and you just know what shades to combine. It's not that hard, I think. And as I mentioned, there are a few shades that are definitely bold and very, very intense in pigment, in color payoff. But if you combine them with some of the neutral shades, you can make those bold colors work. I promise you that. Now, if you really, really enjoy colorful eye looks, then this is definitely a palette for you. Then please do not even hesitate, because you will love it. But also for a more neutral lover like me, well, I like a good neutral eye, but I also like pops of color. So I think that's why I like this palette so much. And because the mattes in this palette are neutral shades, you can pair these mattes with all the metallics, shimmers in this palette. And that's what makes this palette so versatile and so easy to use. So you can very easily create a base look with those mattes and then just add one, maybe two pops of color to your look and you're good to go. It's so easy to work with. If you like the color story, if the color story speaks to you, just grab it, because I'm pretty sure you won't regret it. The quality is top notch, I've told you that. The pigmentation is good, color payoff is good. It's a very long lasting eyeshadow formula. I didn't experience any creasing. The colors, they stay put all day long. So formula wise, this is a very, very good eyeshadow palette. You can create so many looks with this palette and you really get value for money. I mean, you get 18 shades for 105 euros, 115 US dollars. That's That's a pretty good deal. That's value for money, in my opinion. Friends, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. You can find the shopping links in the description box. If you have further questions about this palette, please feel free to ask them, and I hope to see you next time. Bye bye.